a little lower than usual.
Well, you're still a bodacious signal, so no worries. All righty, we'll let some more folks tune up if they need to. Good to hear you, WA4LLR.
Woof, woof.
Hello, CQ, the old friends net. This is N4LQ, November 4, Lima, Quebec. Steve is the name. Shelby, North Carolina. Calling CQ, the old friends net, which is an AM net that meets here on 3715 every Sunday at 6 p.m. and on Tuesday at 8 a.m. and Thursday at 8 a.m. This is an amplitude modulated net, and we operate in the old-fashioned round table fashion where we pass it around the table. I will make a list of all the check-ins and announce the order thereof, and you all can follow that. So let's begin check-ins. This is N4LQ listening.
Okay, good afternoon, Steve. WA4LLO.
W4KR.
WF
KZ4 Bravo.
WB4NKL.
No, 4 Kilo.
WA4JQ. Easy.
WN4 PFI.
KG4 IUQ.
Okay, this is N4LQ. We had a couple of doubles with, let's see, N4AK. There was another station before WA4FJQ. Does anybody want to fill that?
WB4ARK.
All right, WB4ARK. I got you, buddy. And then right with Charlie, W4MEC. And then WN4PFI, there was a station in between there. Who was that?
K4JAL.
Oh, I guess that's who it was then. Okay, Jimmy, I got you. Anybody else? All right, here's what I got. WA4LLR, W4KR, WF2U, KZ4 Bravo, WB4NKL, N4AK, WB4ARK, WA4FJQ, W4MEC, K4JAL, WN4PFI, and KG4IUQ. Are there any more check-ins? I'm getting a carrier and no modulation. Who is that?
WA4EVK, who obviously can't twist knobs.
Ah, the old knob twister, WA4EVK. Got you, Boone. You'll be the tail end there. Anybody else? All right, so WA4EVK is after Mark, KG4IUQ. And real quick down the list, LLR, KR, F2U, KZ4B, NKL, AK, ARK, FJQ, MEC, JAL, PFI, IUQ, EVK. Any further check-ins or fills? Very good. Got a little static here. There's some little thunderstorms floating around the region. Nothing here in Shelby. The sky is clear. It's sunny. It's 77 degrees. Just a heavenly day. Couldn't ask for more. I'm running the Russian Ranger, Big Al, and the Loop of Earl here. So with that, we'll start out with Dave, WA4LLR to take it, N4LQ.
Okay, Steve, N4LQ. And the old friends, WA4LLR. Well, good afternoon, everybody. The QRN is bodacious up here, but everybody's coming through. 77 degrees here as well. Partly cloudy, beautiful day. And I'm running the Babcock M5B into the SB220, receiving on the HQ150. So that's the situation here. We got about another week before we, Lord willing, head down to Shelby. So looking forward to that, to see everybody down there. So, Stan, here it comes. W4KR, WA4LLR.
Okay, thanks, WA4LLR. The old friends, W4KR. Wall Holler. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Temperature here is about 80 right now. 80, 81, right in there, jumping around. I'm on the, I got the Valiant on this afternoon. I'd be curious how the audio sounds. I'm fiddling with it a little bit. Not just the way I want it. Any comments on it? Static level is, as Dave describes, is bodacious. But Dave, you were 40 over 9. Copied everybody. Copy everybody. Glenn, who is the closest, was the weakest. Which is Glenn, you were about an S9. So that's a surprise. I don't understand that. But what do we know? Mayor, here it comes. W2U, W4KR.
Yeah, Roger. W4KR. And the net, this is WFTU. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a little noisy. I have static crashes coming up to about S8, S9. Looked at the live thunderstorm map, and there are lightning strikes around the Gaffney and up around Statesville, but nothing directly within about 25, 30 miles here, and the radar shows that we're not going to get it. So, hopefully, it stays this way, at least for the duration of the night. Anyway, running the old Yesu station, mid-1980s, the FL101 transmitter with a matching FR101 receiver, and about the 20-watt drive that is required to drive the Yesu FL2500 to full PEP power allowed for these tubes, and putting out about 325 watts PEP. The antenna is an end-fed halfway for 80 meters. Reports will come later. I didn't write down the reports that I saw with everybody checking in, but I'll have more time to read the meter for the rest of this round. So, KZ4B, this is WF2U.
Okay, fine, Mayor. WF2U and this is KZ4B. The devil, well, he's not quite beating his wife because there's no rain, but it is, I don't see a dark cloud in the sky, but the static is horrendous. It's horrendous. It's hitting 20 over 9 here, and the strongest signals are closer to 10. By the way, Dave, you're winning the prize so far for the strongest signal, and Stan, you and Mayor are coming in quite good as well. Steve, you're not quite as strong as usual. I don't know why. So that's the reception report. We are wasted physically. the wife decided to trim the bushes, and I decided to, we've got 3 monstrous water oak, river birch trees in the front yard, and each tree is 3 trunks out of 1 common trunk. They are huge. They were built to only get to be 30 feet high, and they're already pushing 45. But I keep watering them. They think they're in a swamp. But anyway, trimming those things is quite strenuous. And one end of my 160 meter antenna was down. I think it actually got sabotaged by the guys that recently put in my fiber optic for the computer. And they took one end down, and it's been low ever since. Was on the ground. I put it up a little bit, but I hung it right. And trimmed the tree so that there are no birch limbs touching it. But one trick I use when I go through trees is I sleeve the antenna wire, which is like 14 gauge stranded, with this 15 kV electric fence sleeving that you use to sleeve it when you bury it and go underneath, say, a fence. And it needs to be 100%, you know, insulated and waterproof. And it really works great. So even with the leaves touching or the limbs touching it, I don't see any ill effects, but I like to get the limbs back anyway. And also, I'm on the verge, I've not successfully been able to get a tuner to tune my so-called G5RV that was 160 meters, which was supposed to be 200 feet end to end. But lo and behold, I measured the frequency for the lowest SWR. It's got a nice dip, but it's at 2.83 megahertz, not lower. So that works out to only about 168 feet end to end electrically. So I've got a long way to go to get anywhere near 160 meters. So I'm going to add loading coils top and try to get that sucker resonant on 160 meters. And then I'll only use the antenna tuner at the extreme ends of resonance. So, I have rambled on more than enough. Cliff, you may take the prize. You usually do. WB4NKL in the group, KZ4 Bravo, over.
Yeah, KZ4 Bravo, it's WB4NKL. Okay, John, yeah, you got a good, strong signal here. I do have a lot of QRN, but copying everybody's coming above it. And I know what you mean about that river birch tree. Well, I've got one of those here at the corner of the house, and it grew a lot more than it was billed to grow when we put it in. It was supposed to be like you say, a 30, 40-foot tree, and we've done trimmed it once, and now it's about out of control again. So might have to have it taken out here one of these days. It's a messy tree. It's all time dropping something. And it's always year-round. Seems like it's got something that's on the ground underneath. We had about 3 inches of rain here Friday, and some little showers yesterday and today, but nothing like the 3 inches we got to begin with. 75 degrees here, and pretty pleasant, but like I say, it's probably another rain shower on its way. Running ART-13 again. Buddy, still trying it out. Seems to work flawlessly. So I still appreciate the work on it. Send it on around. Go ahead, Glenn. N4AK, WB4NKL.
Okay, WB4NKL and the group. This is November 4 Alpha Kilo. And today, the AM is brought to you by the TS2000 and a AL1500. So about 5 watts in, gets 200 watts out on a G5 RV. Stan, you're about the weakest here too, so it's propagation. You're 5'9", but audio's okay. Kind of sounds typical of the Johnson. KZ4B, my experience with a G5 RV type configuration on 160 meters is as follows. My wire was 208 feet fed in plus or minus 60 feet of 450 ohm line, and then that ran into a 4-to-1 balance so I could bring it in the house, and it would load up on anything. So that was before I moved to UTS. So that was and I don't know what you're feeding it with, but 450 ohm line and a minimum of 60 feet worked all right with me. Yesterday, on 20 meters, I came in here and was able to work in with Germany with no QRM anything for about 15 minutes. Visited with a fella from Stuttgart, so didn't hear much else. DX going on. And John, you're 15/9 here. So, let's see. Buddy, over to you today. I'll think going your way. WB4ARK, N4 Alpha Kilo.
N4AK, WB4ARK.
Okay, Glenn. Your signal's a little light today. There's a lot of static. Static is I've got the scope on, and it's got a dial back for the IF coming out of the R390, and I'm telling you, it is going off the top and the bottom of the scope. It's so strong, but looks like we've got maybe a storm up around the airport, which is north. A little bit to the east of north from here, and so everybody else's signal is perfectly readable, and so glad for that, because the static is tremendous tonight. And let's see what else we got going. Well, river birch trees, yeah, we've got one in the front, and it drops continuously, drops limbs and pain in the neck. But, yeah, so, I wonder if Charlie got his ART-13 fired up today. We'll see in a little bit. Going through a KWM2, getting it ready to take to Shelby. And Dave, I wonder if your friend would like to have a station control that's got a speaker, an SWR power meter in it. It's a Collins unit. I think it's a 313 something or other. Let me know if that would be of interest. And I think that's about it for right now. So WA4FJQ, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK, this is WA4FJQ. Thanks, buddy. Well, the QR Nancy here is terrible. Lightning crashes everywhere. I'm just kind of getting bits and pieces. One of the stations, N4AK, Glenn couldn't copy at all here in High Point. This PTH is noisy, as I've said many times, but at least tonight the mariachi band is not bleeding over from the local AM station. Rig here is the AF68 feeding the Tintec Centurion. Got about 275 watts carrier, so peaking up around 1,000, I guess. Up to a Tintec tuner and then an in-fed half wave that I've shot up over the top of some tall trees in the back of the property with insulated wire. But it goes over lots of limbs and lots of twigs and so forth, so I'm probably losing some signal there as well. But the weather here is blue skies. We're not getting any rain, but I hope we can get some. But at any rate, so I'll turn it down to Charlie, and we'll see how his AR-213 does if he's on that. So Charlie, here he comes, W4MEC. This is WA4FJQ.
W4FJQ in the group W4MEC. Everybody's got signals here, and running the Mohawk receiver here with gain at 0 and where's gain at clock, and the static is in there, but it's not over, blasting through because the gain's back and everybody's good copy. Negative on the ART-13. I got it up and running. I got the interlock solved. I got all the metal straightened out. Put it all together and fired it up today, and I got about 20 watts out. So I know it's got a weak 813 in it. I didn't think it was that weak. Dynamotor's putting out 1,050 volts and 400. And I got about a little less than 60 mils of plate current. I do have good grid current, though. It's at the bottom of the scale for grid current. So I'm digging around looking. I found an 813 here a while back, but I don't know where I put it. I said, I need to set this aside so I can put it in the ART-13 when I need it. Well, I set it aside all right, so I'm looking for the tube now, and hopefully that's all it is. So anyway, it's working real good. It's working. Everything's working fine, and just need to solve the low power out here. I did put a mic on it, and sounds okay with the microphone. So right now, just got my cable made up to mute the receiver. It's in place. Don't have to turn the receiver off before I hit PTT. Let's see, John. You said you had a whole bunch of Tintec tuners. Well, I have found that Tintec tuner, I don't know if it's a 238 or 235 or whatever it is. It's the one that Tom is using. It has the slide rule dial for the indicator of the number of inductor turns. And that thing is pretty neat because of the switch in the dead center. In one direction, it's a L tuner with the capacitor to ground and then a trailing coil. And in the other side of 12 o'clock is a coil in series with the capacitor to ground and an output. And to be honest with you, I have actually used that on 160 meters and had to change from coil input and capacitor to ground on 1.2 from the CW bottom and flip that switch around and put it to capacitor input and coil output to go to the high end of the band, and it will tune just fine. So, and other tuners that you can't make that swap, they won't do that. So that was plus I found for that tuner. And I had a homemade one where I could swap the capacitor from one end of the coil to the other, and it worked the same way. I actually in the mid-band, I would actually have to shift to the other direction. So if you've got one of those, you might experiment with it and see if you find the same results there, where you need to swap that that switch from one side to the other there, and see if it'll tune. But just a thought. So let's see. It goes to Jimmy. K4JAL and the group W4MEC.
W4MEC, K4JAL. Well, I got about half the station just got eaten by the partly cloudy and steady today up here. I'm running the Viking 2, and come to be my favorite transmitter, and R398 and the Cobra. Things are going well for Jimmy. That's all a man can expect. Looking forward to a good summer. So I'll give it over to W4PFI K4JAL. I think I got that right.
K4JAL. This is W4PFI. Okay, Jimmy. My call's Whiskey Nancy 4, but that's okay. I've been called worse than that. 73 degrees here in Setches. I'm on DX60, and it's not putting out quite enough power. I'll have to check and see. I hope you all call me. It's the DX60 and the Warrior app, and I'm listening to you today on Kenwood R600, little bedside receiver that seems to be working pretty well today. We had a severe storm north of us in Blairsville that somehow knocked our power out about 4 o'clock this morning and stayed off for about 4 hours. We got a little rain, but not much rain, but there's still a few hundred people that are out without power here. And with everybody else, it's a little on the static side here today. So, over you, Mark, KG4IUQ, WN4PFI. Go ahead and take it.
Hello, this is KG4IUQ, Mark and Shelby. Well, I'm getting a lot of static crashes over here. A lot of static. I'm sure that you're hearing it on my signal too, everybody. But amazingly, I am hearing most people pretty fair, considering that. Steve, you're sounding good here. Dave, LLR, you sound good. I'm looking forward to Shelby Hamfest 2. And Mayor, WF2U, I hear you okay here, but there's static in there. KZ4B, John, I hear, you're sounding pretty good, but you're in the static, and you're saying no dark clouds over there, but you're hearing static. I guess it's about the same here. Haven't been outside in about 45 minutes, I'm not sure. WB4NKL, Cliff, you sound good. Glenn, N4AK, sounds a little weak, kind of hard to hear you, mostly because of the static. ARK, Buddy, you sound good. FJQ, Tom, I hear you pretty well. WB4MEC, you sounding good here. K4JAL, with your Viking 2, sound good. And Doak PFI, you're sounding pretty good here. I had a little incident happen with my lawnmower yesterday. My old butternut HF5 V3 I bought used for $60 in about year 2006. A guy rope in the high uncut grass got in the lawnmower blade, and it looked like it totaled the antenna, and I was okay and got the engine stopped pretty quick. But it looks like I think I could fix it, but the tubes, the aluminum tubes, to buy them and ship them here are going to cost more than I ever paid for the thing, but I'm going to go ahead and do that.
I think I can get the tubes sent from DX Engineering for about $78, shipping and tax and everything, and I think I can figure a way to get the replacement made, and then figure out how to bend all the other antenna, and I think I can figure that out. But if anybody has any ideas of how to bend aluminum that's not too bad bent, you might give me an idea or two. Okay, I'm going to turn it over now to Boone, WA4EVK in the group. This is KG4IUQ.
KG4IUQ in the group. Thank you, Mark. It's been interesting here. I've been put a shed in and moved my shop into it, and I'm slowly getting things out of the shack and into the shop, and this is some of I haven't operated much at all, to put it that way, except for the static. Got good signals on most everybody. I run the AF68 into a Swan Mark 1, receiving on an SDR receiver so I can process the signal and knock a little bit of that static down, and that pretty well describes it today. And back to you, Steve, N4LQ, WA4EVK.
Yeah, boy, that sounds beautiful. Sound better than you do in person. This N4LQ and the old friends net, do we have any more check-ins?
Okay, I'm signing out because the storm is right on top of me. 7-3, thanks for calling the net all. Have a great week. Bye.
W4 Oscar Papa.
All right, man. We got some news from KZ4B. He is out of here, so Mir will turn it over to Cliff in KL. And let's see, W4 Oscar Papa. Dale, good evening. Good evening to you, sir, and good to have you. Why don't you go ahead and make a transmission and then turn it back to me? Go ahead.
Okay, very good, Steve. LQ and W4 Oscar Papa. Dale up here in North Carolina. I know a few of you guys and maybe some others through electric radio. Charlie, MEC. Pretty good signals here today. As always, we do the static also in western North Carolina. But it's not too bad. I'm running a recently restored as to new Gonset G76 with a matching power supply, and tonight I'm just running it barefoot at about 60 watts with a Shure 444 microphone and 80 meter inverter up on the tower. So I won't hold it down. I'm not sure how many can copy my 60 watts. Thanks for letting me know.
All right, Dale, sounds good. G76 at 60 watts. So Boone, EVK, will turn it over to Dale, W4OP, and then back to me on the next round. And let's see, Mark, real fine on your lawnmower attacking your butternut antenna. And I just looked up the butternut HF9 vertical. DX Engineering is selling those for $960. Of course, it'd be over $1,000 by the time you got it for a stick of aluminum and some coils. That is just insane. But good luck on fixing that back up. And as far as Shelby goes, I do plan on being at the Hamfest. I'll probably show up over there Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's just a matter of dropping in and see what's going on. Dave usually gets there early, and usually by Wednesday or something, so I'll stop by there and talk to him for a while. I have not heard anything from Brian about the land rush and getting the usual flea market spaces or anything this year. And so I don't know if, I guess interest has waned in that respect. And let's see what else we got going on here. Mir, you're really loud. That, of course, I tell you that every time. And let's see, I learned something from KZ4B about electric fence tubing that goes underground, and he uses that on his antenna in the trees. So, by the way, a G5 RV, a true G5 RV is 102 feet, and he designed that to give a, I think it's a clover leaf pattern on 20 meters, and that's about it. Somebody decided to make it twice as long, 204 feet, and call it a double G5 RV, and started selling kits, and nothing special about that. The important thing, if you're going to use it, use a multi-band doublet like that, is to avoid resonance, and don't put a resonator on the thing to make it resonate on 160, because that'll give you a real high impedance on 80, and it'll be hard to match, and et cetera, et cetera. I think I've talked about that before. So I am live streaming this, so if you want to go back and listen to your audio, you can do so anytime. As far as river birches go, I had 2 big ones in the front yard here, and I had them cut down because I was afraid they'd fall in the house when I cut them down. All they do is drop junk all over the yard, and besides that, they're in the way of good antennas. So with that, let's go ahead for another round. One more time, let's see if there's any more check-ins. This is the N4LQ. All right, WA4LLR on the booming Babcock. This is N4LQ.
Okay, Steve, N4LQ. And the old friends, WA4LLR. All right, good deal. Copying everybody with no problem other than earache from the static crashes. Let's see, Cliff, you said that you got 3 inches of rain Friday. We got 0.95, just under an inch Friday. And Stan, I think the audio on the Valiant sounds good. And thanks for the signal report. And Mir, I concur with Steve. The Yaesu signal is really loud. 7-3 to John. Cliff, the ART-13 is still doing a good job for you. Glenn, okay on the TS-2000. Buddy, I will check about the station console and let you know. Tom, you are really bumming in up here in Burnsville. Charlie, sorry you've had such a saga trying to get the ART-13 going. I'm still looking forward to it. Jimmy, I like the sound of the Viking too. It's doing a good job. And tell me, did you get your car? I haven't heard you since the car came in, so I figured you were either in jail from doing burnouts in front of the law, or you're just having so much fun you didn't think about the radio. Dope, DX60 sounds good. And Mark, I hope your vertical is totaled. I hope you can resurrect it. And Boone, AF68 is doing good. And Dale, the G76 sounds good. Space weather is not too bad today. I thought it was going to be rough because earlier on we were having a minor geomagnetic storm, but it's kind of calmed down. The K index is down to 2. Sunspot count's 170, and the solar flux index is 230. A few things from this day in history. On this day in 1920, the 19th Amendment was passed by 1 vote. Of course, that was giving ladies the right to vote. On this day in 1587, Virginia Dare, the first English colonist, was born in this country. And then 3 years later, on 1590, the Roanoke colony was found deserted. On this day in 1991, there was a coup against Gorbachev. It was unsuccessful, pretty much. On this day in 1969, the Woodstock Festival came to an end with 400,000 in attendance. And on this day in 1896, more than 200 outlaws gathered at Brown's Hole, where Butch Cassidy was proposing to organize a train robber syndicate, which later became known as the Wild Bunch. So there's a few things from this day in history. So, now you stand, W4KR, WA4LLR.
Oh, okay. W4LLR, W4KR. Signal's holding up, Dave. Still cranking. Thank you. Thanks for the audio report. Copied most everybody, almost everybody. John, poor Bravo was down a little bit, and for some reason, as like I said before, Glenn is down. I guess we're too close. The band is long. That's what it is. At static level, there must be some kind of a storm out in Iowa or Colorado someplace. And in here, let's see here. Saw something weird. No, not weird. Saw a new this morning on TV. I was up early and prowling around just to see what was going on the internet on TV, and was watching some YouTube stuff. At first I said, what the heck's the matter with those people? Then I happened to think, well, wait a minute, no, that's something else the government's involved in. And I think it looks today like NASA belongs in the same category as the Secret Service. There's been a lot of conversation about maybe with the couple of astronauts from the Boeing ship being stuck up there, maybe until February or whatever. They could come back on on one of Elon Musk's Falcon 9. But no, they can't do that because the spacesuits aren't compatible. What in the heck is going on with the government? What's the matter with NASA? The spacesuits are not compatible. The plugs aren't compatible, and the control softwares are different. Bah humbug. With that, Mir, here it comes. Dave, next time I'm going to sign with this one. I'll listen out, but static, getting louder and louder. So I'll listen out, but Dave, next time turn it to Mir. WF2U and the old friend Sunday afternoon get together. This is W4KR.
Roger, W4KR and the net. This is WF2U. Very good, Stan. Copy you fine. Your signal is a little bit higher than during the first round. You went to 5 dB, you were only S9. Now you hit 5 dB over 9. And the same with you, Steve. You went up to 10 dB over 9. And Dave went to 10 dB over 9. So it looks like the conditions are improving somewhat. So 73, have a nice end of the weekend, and see you at Shelby. Too bad that we don't have the organized space land rush like we used to have. I guess I'll have to put in send in a reservation quickly. I just don't want to make an extra trip out to Shelby because I'm pretty busy here. So we'll see. Let's see what else. Buddy, you were 10 over 9 even before, so you might be stronger now. Cliff, you were S9. Glenn, the carrier was S9 from the beginning, but for some reason modulation was low. I was looking at the S meter. I expected to see something like maybe S5, and there you were at S9. But I copied 100%. Tom peaked to S8. Charlie S9. Doak S9. Mark S9. Jimmy 5 dB over 9, and Boone pretty wide range of QSB between 7 and 8. And I couldn't copy W4OP too well. It was maximum S5, and the static goes sometimes up to S8. Not always, but the average noise level is about S5. And once in a while, I get a peak of the static, but otherwise everybody's coming in pretty nicely. Yeah, thanks for the comments on this Yesu station. I'm sure I told that story a lot of times when I got this station very, very cheap at an estate sale. They just wanted to get rid of it because they said it doesn't work. So I figured I'll play with it a little bit, and then I'll just sell it for whatever it cost me. And I started to read some original reviews and stuff, and in many sources it said that it's one of the best sounding radios on transmitters on AM right out of the box without modification. So I thought, okay, that's interesting. All I had to do is clean it, clean the contacts, clean all the switches and everything, and everything worked like a charm. So there you go. Anyway, so as I said, everybody sounds good. Also, and I need to. All I have to do in order to hook up my ART13 station again. Initially, I used it with a big linear power supply, 100 amp military power supply, which requires replacing all the old pass transistors. I did that once with the original ones, which are not very that don't last too long, but I found something that will take a little bit more current, will survive even higher currents and higher voltage. So that might be a solution. Except I have much smaller switching power supplies, about 60 to 70. I have a 140 amp also, and thanks to Charlie who told me about them being sold on eBay, and I got 2 of them, and it's really RFI free. So I'm going to hook one of these up and get it running. So with that, it goes to Clifton. WB4NKL. This is WFTU.
WFTU, WB4NKL. Okay, Mir. What? Yesu does sound good. I have one of those setups, but I've never run it. I need to get the transmitter for some kind of a problem in it. So that's another project. Good deal, good copy all the way around. Still got all the QRN. And Jimmy, I was wondering about the car. If you got that car that arrived. And Dale, I was looking at your QRZ site, and some nice equipment there. The homebrew equipment looks professional. And a lot of the boat anchors there where you've restored enjoyed seeing that stuff. I'm going to say 73s and getting a dinner call, so I'll try to catch everybody there Tuesday. Thanks for calling it, Steve. And so on to you, Glenn. N4AK, WB4KL.
Doing like Charlie, cutting off his back. So, buddy, over to you there. WB4ARK, November 4 Alpha Kilo.
N4AK, WB4ARK. Well, conditions were not too good between us that time. Glenn, your signal was way down. Could barely copy you. Sometimes I couldn't because of the static crashes. Static crashes are coming down and then they build back up again. So it's interesting today. Mark, I can not even fathom an idea as to how you ran over a vertical antenna, an aluminum antenna with your riding lawnmower. I just cannot vision how you did that. So I hope you didn't have any damage to the mower. But anyhow, that's it goes sometimes. I don't have anything else to say. Yeah, that's one thing. Dave, your signal is extremely strong today. You're just booming in here, taking the static crashes and doing a number with them. You just barrel them in. But that's a 312 B, I think it is, station control. So let me know what the situation is, and I will get things going. It's in very good condition. It's been cleaned. It's been gone through. It works fine. Speaker works. Everything works. So with that, I'm going to say 73 because it's getting close to supper time, and I'll listen to the end. Thanks, Steve, for doing the net, and I hope you're still on the mend with your accident with the fence. And we'll look forward to Tuesday. So over to WA4FJQ. This is WB4ARK.
Yeah, WA4FJQ, are you still here? I suppose he's probably left due to the storm. Let's see, Charlie, MEC, go ahead.
N4LQ, and the group W4MEC. Still got a good copy on everybody, and not dealing with the storm. It has rained here off and on during the day. It's about 76 degrees here. And a lot of scattered storms, but distant lightning, thunder, but nothing close by. So still got a good copy on everybody. Let's see, Mark, if you do a little research, do some measuring of those tubes, inside, outside diameters, and then get online and look at metal suppliers. There's a couple of them in Spartanburg. There's nothing special about that aluminum. It's not custom runs or nothing. It's just stock tubing, so you might be able to find tubing that you can get and just drive down to Spartanburg and pick up and not have to spend $70 to have it shipped to you. And if you can find it down there, a lot of times they charge, they can do custom makes. So if you know exactly what you need, you can, if you bring them samples, they'll even try and figure it out for you. But I was just checking on the prices of some 4x8 sheet steel here down at one in Spartanburg. And it's a few years ago, you could never buy this stuff. All these places were always, you had to have a tax number to buy anything from them. They're always all wholesalers. You couldn't get them. A lot of them now are become a lot more accommodating. You can buy stuff like that from them. So, measure up the stuff and see what you need, and go online and look at the local metal suppliers and just buy it locally. Might have to do some cutting with a hacksaw and all that, but it might save you $1 or $2. Stuff. Let's see. That's all I got there. So it goes to let's see. It goes to Dope. No, it goes to Jimmy and find out about JAL in the group W4MEC.
W4MEC K4JAL. Yeah, the car's in. It's a beautiful car. It runs good, but it's got some severe problems. I've got to go through eBay and make the guy pay for some repairs. I'll talk to you more about that tomorrow, Dave, on the next. Cliff will be there too. But I love the car, and it'll be worth it, even if I have to correct the deficiencies myself. It's well worth it. I got it at a good price. Steve, that wood ranger, I got that thing, and it is a product of questionable value. Little bitty sticks, it knocks them around because it's a chainsaw, and it's better with some clippers for that. And on something that's an inch and a half, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, it's fine. But I'd rather have my money back. So there you go. I'll give it over to Patrick now, WN4 PFI, K4JAL. I'm going to say 7-3.
K4JAL. This is WN4 PFI and suches. Not much more here. I'll make this my last. I did want to say, if for anybody that cares, I have the WRL in Glow Chief and Homebrew modulator ready to go. I haven't put it on air yet here with you. It only puts out about 30 watts, and I wasn't sure that anyone could copy it. I may a couple of months and see if the conditions will improve to where maybe won't be so much static. Other than that, I'll say 73. Good to hear everybody on today. And I'll send it over to Mark, KG4IUQ. This is WN4PFI. By the way, Steve, thanks for calling in that today. This WN4PFI, be clear. Good afternoon, guys.
This is KG4IUQ, Mark in Shelby. Well, I'm still hearing the static crashes, but I'm hearing everybody pretty well. Glenn, 4AK, I hear you saying that I think you're going to get a different room to put your shack in. Not sure, but I think that's what you're talking about there. And WB4ARK, buddy, talking about the damage I did to my antenna. I did not run over the antenna. I did not run over the antenna. A guy rope hidden in the grass got caught up in the motor blade. It was a 0-turn mower, pretty strong motor. By the time I knew something happened, it was not good, but I'm okay. Mower's okay, and I think I could probably fix the thing. Let's see here, and WB4MEC, thank you for the information about a metal company. You don't have to have a tax number. The person can go in with samples of the metal or specifications and they will sell it. And I think that it probably costs less to do that, you're saying? Especially because you can go pick it up in Spartanburg. Maybe I need to look into that. I have already actually ordered the pieces from DX Engineering, but I would like to know about that so that I can know that and do it sometime in the future that way, because I tell you, that stuff is expensive. You can go on Amazon and look up aluminum. They want to sell it in 2-foot pieces. And it just seems like aluminum is extremely expensive right now. And I'd like to check into that. Maybe I'll send out a message in the email reflector and try to get some more clues about where to go for that in Spartanburg. Okay. I guess I'm gonna get off of here. I'll probably go to the end of the net and listen. But right now I'm gonna turn it over to Boone, WA4EVK in the group. This is KG4IUQ.
KG4IUQ in the group, WA4EVK. Thank you, Mark. Static is pretty miserable, but signals are coming on through. Everybody is coming through. I'm here having a hard time here in Dale, of course. The station seems like it's always the hardest one, and Dale's not that far north of me, or northwest of me. From Pickens to Glenville is not a big, long trip, but of course, that's the one, it's like down there in Sunset. He's close, and we seem to have a tough time back and forth sometimes. Well, we've run pretty close to an early dinner time for me, so I'm going to turn it over to Dale and sign out and talk to you guys on Thursday. W4OP to take it, WA4EVK. Good evening.
Good evening, Boone. So nice to hear you out here, but I suspect you're running more power than I am since you watch Twitter. Perhaps I can receive something from my investment. That's good. I just need to confirm that the will be for the ramp up. I heard you guys talking about trees earlier, and I've got my tower, the tower still here. Nice to meet you again. But he's strong here. The G76 is runs a CT6 final. It's state modulated by a pair of 6DQ lines. This rig was in terrible shape when I got it, and I've had to do a lot of restoration on it, including a new front panel. Others were missing. I hope it looks better than this now. It's just a thought rate. Steve, I'll turn it over to you. I've got a group down at the end here.
Okay, Dale, I couldn't understand any of that, but I could see you on the scope. Thanks, everybody, for checking in this evening. It's been a good net, and hope to see everybody tonight on 160 at 8 p.m. if you can make it. And if not, on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. So we'll say 73s and go ahead and close the net. This is N4LQ. Good evening.